Before you file for Social Security spousal benefits on your ex-spouse, if you're drawing alimony, which is rarer and rarer these days, make sure you understand how it works because you might think you're going to get more money and you might not be. So first, let's talk about Social Security spousal benefits. In order to be able to draw on your ex-spouse, that marriage had to have lasted 10 years. You are not remarried. So you could have remarried but re-divorced, but you're currently single. Your ex that you wanted to draw spousal Social Security on can be remarried. That doesn't matter. You have to be at least 62. Your ex has to be at least 62. He never has to draw for you to draw on his benefits. It doesn't matter if his new wife is drawing on his benefits. He just has to have been married to you for 10 years. You're currently single. You're at least 62. You're not working full time. Now, every year there's a limit of how much you can make. In 2025, that is $23,400. So when I say not full time, I really want you to be right around that limit, because if you want to draw Social Security off your ex-spouse at 62, you really want to make about $23,400 from your part-time job. Exclude interest, dividends, exclude alimony. But if you make over that $23,000, that's when they'll start reducing your spousal benefit. So that's why I say be retired or only working part-time. Okay, so you've met all those requirements. Length of marriage, age, his age. Half of his has to be more than yours. So many times I get women say, well, I'm a higher earner, but can I get something from my ex? No. If you are the higher earner, maybe your ex can draw off of you. The lower earner is eligible to draw a percentage of the higher earner's benefit. If you both make about the same, nobody will be drawing a spousal benefit. So if your ex is the higher earner, half of his is more than all of yours, that's where you can apply for Social Security spousal benefits. Again, at least at age 62. Now, I have it in my book. You can get my book on Amazon, Medicare Mama, M-A-M-A, and I have a whole chapter explaining spousal benefits. So if you want to go into more detail, head on over to Amazon. But if you apply at 62, you will not get 50% of your spouse's benefits. And I can't tell you how many people think that. They're like, yeah, I'm going to apply. I'm going to get 50% of his. He was in the NFL. He made a lot of money. You can get up to 50% of your ex's benefit. It doesn't reduce his amount, doesn't take away from him or his current spouse. But to get the full spousal benefit, the most you can get as a spouse or an ex-spouse is 50% of his benefit. To get that 50%, you have to be at your full retirement age. So if you were born in 1960 or thereafter, that would be age 67. If you're born before 1960, then it's a sliding scale. It goes up in 2-month increments. So it'll be like 66 in 8 months, 10 months, something like that. So if I want to draw at 62, I will not get the full 50%. I'll get about 30%. If I wait till my full retirement age 67, I will get the full 50%. So a lot of people, they extrapolate incorrectly here and they go, oh, okay. So I'll draw at 62. I get a reduced amount. I get 30%. But that's okay, because in 5 years, when I reach my full retirement age, then I'll get the extra 20%. No. When you start drawing any Social Security benefit, so in this case, a spousal benefit or an ex-spousal benefit, you lock it in. Once you draw it, boom, that's your level for the rest of your life. It's not going up because you got older. Now you might be able to switch to another benefit, and I have videos, and I talk in my book about widow benefits, separate topic. But your spousal benefit, your ex-spousal benefit will stay level for the rest of your life. If we have a cost of living adjustment, we get a little raise in January, most Januaries, but not all. If we get it, everybody gets it. So you would get that. But in general, you're not going to go up once you lock it in. So if you don't want to be locked in at the reduced rate at age 62, don't draw at 62. Okay, now you understand the fundamentals of how Social Security works for spouses. It's almost the exact same for spouses and ex-spouses. The difference is if I'm drawing off an ex-spouse, my ex-spouse never has to draw for me to draw on his work record. He can't block me by not drawing. But if I'm married and I want to draw on my current spouse, I can't draw until he draws. So if my husband says, I think I'll work till 70, and I was a stay-at-home mom, I can never draw until he draws at 70. So that's one of the only differences between being currently married, even if I'm separated, and being divorced. So let's go back to this side of the house. We're talking about people that are divorced. I'm getting alimony. Now, alimony is negotiated in your divorce, in your state divorce court. Not all states allow alimony. It's different from state to state. Alimony is based on, let's say, the woman's getting alimony. It's based on my need for alimony, my financial need, which I provide to the court. And then it's based on my ex's financial ability to pay. Okay, so those are two variables that can change. Now, in the divorce, we could have already covered what would happen if I draw spousal Social Security. You got to check your divorce decree. Some do, some don't. It's all over the board. Let's say your divorce decree doesn't say anything about spousal Social Security. Some will say, I'm going to get $1,000 a month until I remarry, or whatever it says. I'm going to get $1,000 a month. And if I start drawing spousal Social Security off his work record, it'll be reduced by that amount. So if I draw a benefit and now I'm getting $1,000 from Social Security as a spousal benefit, I'm getting 50% of his $2,000 benefit, then they will reduce my alimony down. I'm getting $1,000 of alimony, so I get zero. In my mind, I was getting $1,000 of alimony and I was going to get an extra $1,000 of spousal Social Security, and I was going to have $2,000, and I was excited. And for some people, that will be the reality. And for other people, that will not be possible. So first of all, refer to your divorce decree. Does it talk about that? Most don't, because most divorce attorneys don't know anything about Social Security. So it'd be rare that it's in there. Now, how it's handled without the divorce decree talking about it will vary from state to state. California is more likely to say, hey, you're already getting alimony, now you're going to draw Social Security, and they would renegotiate the alimony. New York, which those are the two drivers that, make the laws that everybody else follows in the rest of the country. New York, which is also typically really liberal, tends to not do that, to just ignore the alimony. So again, that's right now. That can change. State laws change. You're going to have to check with your state and see. And that should be a pretty easy search to see. In either event, you're not going to lose money. If I might lose my alimony, but only if it's replaced with an equal amount of Social Security spousal benefits. Now, the problem with Social Security spousal benefits is typically the same with alimony, that it says they both end when I remarry. Alimony, people can be more strict. They can craft more language in there, like I can't live with anybody or whatever. So again, refer back to your divorce decree. Go get those paperwork and look at that up. But in general, you can apply for both alimony and spousal Social Security. That's legally you can, as long as you are qualified for spousal Social Security, you can apply for it. Will it reduce your alimony? That's the question in this video. I can't tell you. Look at your divorce decree. Look at your state laws. That will vary dramatically from state to state. If you have more specific questions, I'd refer you back to your divorce attorney or to the Social Security website. Our company, the Medicare Family, we help people with Medicare insurance. I talk about these other topics because retirees are asking me about these other topics. But if you need help with Medicare, book a free appointment on our website, themedicarefamily.com. If you do need help specifically with spousal Social Security, you'll have to go to the Social Security Administration, let the government help you. I do have my book available on Amazon under Medicare Mama, and it will detail the steps how to apply and how to become eligible for spousal Social Security. If you learned something today, please give me a follow. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question. Always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare Family.